think, yes. So welcome everybody to the December meeting of the virtual chapter. This is our holiday edition, and a special holiday edition it is indeed. I am Michael Watson, and I am joined by my co-host.
Hi there, I'm Karen Hand.
Hi, Karen. You got the memo, the red T-shirt memo. That's
Absolutely.
that's
Yes. Festive. And a lot of people did. Everybody came festive because they know it's a party.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, going to be a little bit different than our usual fare, and we've always got something educational as well. So if you can figure out what that is, please send me a memo so that I can put it in the minutes of this meeting. But no, we've got 10 presenters for you tonight. They're each going to do like 5 to 7 minutes. And by the way, I've got to warn them all. I am going to be the clock Nazi, because that's what it's going to take in order to be able to get everybody in. So if you hear me playing music in the background or something, you'll know. So please keep track of your time. But I just want to say before we start, first of all, I have to acknowledge, and I know this is a whole different deal, so get ready to put on your sad face for a moment. I have to acknowledge that this is the anniversary of the death of John Lennon.
Yes.
Yeah. So it came to my attention earlier today, and I said, imagine. This, so just wanted to remind you. It was weird actually, because I thought about it yesterday. For some reason, it came to my mind, and I thought, when was the date? And then I'm like, actually, for a minute, I thought it was John Lennon's birthday, and I'm like, no, it's Pearl Harbor Day. But no, so today is Impact Day. So there we go. I remember that day. Some of us remember that day, and what a day it was.
I was on the air that night. I announced it first to Chicago.
And by the way, I'm a huge John Lennon fan, and I have been all of my life. So I just want to acknowledge something, because I think it has some hypnotic implications in it. And it's hard for me to say this because I love John personally. I mean, that I just have that connection. But John Lennon, the Beatle, and post shooting John Lennon are two very different creatures. The John Lennon that we think about today, and on this day when we remember that event, is an icon that I think that we have created over the last 30 years, or however many it's been. And we tend to associate John Lennon with peace, and of course, the love it, the be in for peace, and the sleeping in the white bag with Yoko, for peace. And all we were saying is give peace a chance, and imagine being those things that kind of set us up for that. But they now have become the anthems of this mythological being that we've created. And by the way, I love mythology. I think this John Lennon is more important to us than the scrappy Beatle that he once was. And there's some things probably about that history that we're better off to forget. But because we idolize, because we remember in that way, what it is really a statement about our values, about what it is that really matters to us. And we need icons, we need spotlights, to sort of highlight those kinds of things. So St. John Lennon Day, indeed. Happy peace to all sentient beings. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Boy, this hat really looks weird on me, doesn't it? Because it doesn't actually fit my big head. I have a bigger head than Santa Claus.
It's actually very touching.
So with that said, we've got the usual reminders, of course. Please be polite in the chat room, and remember that you're being recorded, and don't pick your nose when you're on camera. And
even though this is a party, you still get CEUs, so file for them.
Oh gosh, CEUs. So, and in fact, what you get, I think, is 5 CEUs for each cocktail. So if you're participating in you can really get your whole hypnotic career taken care of right here this evening. So with all of that said, Karen, do you have anything that you'd like to say, just getting us started off here before we?
I think the one thing to say is, if we want to really make this a drinking party, every time someone says hypnosis or deeper, you take a drink. Either of those two things, hypnosis or deeper.
Oh, I think hypnosis would be really severe, wouldn't it?
What about that's right?
It was the first one, by the way.
Every time somebody says that's right.
Yeah.
Well, so I got an idea. Let your unconscious mind guide you to determine just which word will compel you to drink during the course of the evening, and we'll find out who's picked the better words at the end. Say the magic word, we're going to play. So with that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for the virtual chapter, for what this has been for us for the last few years. We love you all, and here we are. And we're going to start right off. We are going to start right off. And by the way, the speakers, these 4 speakers, they have no idea what order they're speaking in. And you know why? Because last year somebody said, if I'm on at 7:09, what time do I need to call in? And I'm like, no, let's not do that. So I didn't tell any of you. But I will tell you that I think it's really nice to start things off with a story on a Christmas party. And so I would like to turn your attention, are you ready for this, to our friend Sarah Carson, who is one of the most delightful storytellers that I know. And I hope that she's still intending to tell us a story. That was her intention. And I want to point out, by the way, what we asked the speakers to do was just to bring us some gift, some blessing, some whatever it was that they want to offer in that length of time. So it might be a story, it might be a little piece of teaching, it might be some blessing, it might be a meditation. Who knows? They might even sing. So so we'll see what happens. So Sarah, hi.
Hi, Michael. Thank you so much. I'm so excited to be the first one.
Yeah, well, we're
That's
so excited to have
great.
you as the first one.
Wonderful. Am I ready to go when you're ready to go?
You are ready to go.
Love it. So I'm actually going to tell you a story this evening, and it's a story about dreams. Now, I'm sure all of us have dreams and things we want to achieve, certain outcomes. And I most certainly am somebody who likes to really dream into my dreams. And I like to go ahead and make a big picture right there in front of me achieving whatever it is that I am dreaming about, making it really 3D, brightly colored, and stepping in to that achievement. And as I step out of it, I have that feeling, that motivation to really want to achieve it. And years ago, one of my dreams was to go to a place in Guatemala called Tikal. Now, I don't know if you've heard of Tikal, but it's an ancient Mayan city. And it was discovered many, many years ago by a very curious man in a very curious way. Because what he decided to do one day was to climb up to the top of the tallest tree in the rainforest and look out over the top of the canopy. And when he did that, he could see something special out there. He could see the tippy tops of all these interesting buildings, and he became even more curious. And he climbed down the tree and went to this place, and he discovered an ancient city that was used by the Mayan culture. And when I read about this, I was like, oh my goodness, I so want to go to this place. And I don't know about you, but I'm the kind of person who likes to plan as well as dream. I started to read everything I could. I started to look on the internet. I researched everything possible about this place. And then I began to dream even more. And I said to myself, you can do this so easily. You can achieve your dream. And eventually I found a vacation, a tour to take us on this trip. And part of that trip was to Belize, and part of it was to Guatemala, and part of it in Guatemala was to go to Tikal. And I remember getting off the bus that had taken us there. It was hot and sticky, and we had to trek through the rainforest. We met our guide, Roxy, leading us forward on our journey. We had our hats and our water bottles and our backpacks, and off we went, trekking through that rainforest, step by step, moving forward. And eventually we arrived at the base of the tallest pyramid in Tikal. I was so excited. This was my dream. I was about to achieve it, and I looked up, and then I looked up, and then I looked up, and up, and up. And I could see this wooden staircase, kind of rickety on the side, that I would have to climb. And I suddenly said, nope, not going to do it. And I said to my husband, Sean, you go up, you take all the pictures, and you come back down and show me the pictures. And he said, wait a minute. Take a moment and think of your dream. Think of it right now. Make it big. Put it right there in front of you, Sarah. See yourself on the top of that pyramid. So I did. I made that picture in my mind's eye. Stepped in. It felt good, but I looked up again and it was still a little scary. And then our guide, Roxy, said, you know, all you have to do is take one step and then one more step and then one more step. And so I did. I began. I took one step and then another step and another step. And like any journey, there were a few rest points on the way, but eventually I arrived at the very top of the tallest pyramid in Tikal. What an amazing feeling. And as we sat on the top of that pyramid, our guide, Roxy, told us an ancient Mayan story. She told us that the ancient Mayans believed that there was a great mirror that held all the knowledge, all the insight. Everything in the universe was collected in this mirror and shone back its truth to everyone. However, it was shrouded by a veil of smoke, so nobody could have all of the knowledge. But one day, a great shaft of light came through and shattered the mirror into 1,000,000 pieces, and everyone in the world was given a piece of the mirror. And in that small piece was the entirety of the universe. And as you look in your hand to see that piece, because there's a piece for you, and a piece for you, a piece for you, a piece for you, you can hold it in your heart as you dream in to your dream. I thought this was the most beautiful story. And as I sat on the top of that pyramid, I looked out over the canopy of the rainforest. I could see even more little tippy tops of other buildings, other dreams, new goals to strive towards. Because you never know how far a dream will go. Thank you.
Oh, lovely, lovely, lovely. Yay, everybody. A round of applause. Thank you so much, Sarah. That was just truly beautiful and a great way to start off our program tonight.
Good. Thank you.
And so thanks. And we're going to move right along. Our next speaker, and again, of course, completely, I'm about to catch him by surprise, will be James Junta, who's going to talk to us about motivation, I believe. Hi, James.
Hi there, everybody.
How are you?
Thank you so much for being here. And Michael and Karen, thanks so much for allowing me to do this. Let's see. I do have something for you. My topic is confirmation bias. My background is in journalism and communication and education. I've been practicing and studying hypnosis pretty intensively since 2008, which is when I met some of you at my first IACT conference. I also certify professionals since 2010, and I just love the conferences. I miss seeing all of you in non-COVID years. I just love the conferences. I think it's extraordinary that a few hundred of us will gather together and talk about what we've been going through and teaching each other. And so in that spirit, I'd like to talk about what I've been going through and see if there's any of this information that you can use in your practice. So to jump right in, before Michael picks up the baton and starts conducting the band behind me, I'd like to just go over the overview. By the way, I have a PowerPoint presentation. If you can share my screen, I'd be happy to put that up. Should we do
Yeah,
that?
in fact, you can share your screen, James. Are you accustomed to this on Zoom?
No.
Okay. Well, so let me see if I can get you there really quickly. If you click down at the bottom of the screen, it says share screen. Do you see it right underneath your chin, probably?
I don't have a share screen button. I just see 28 participants. Oh, I do see it. Hey, here we
Okay.
go. I'm disabled.
It says
Oh.
you're disabled?
Yeah, you disabled me, Michael.
Oh, I've got to give you permission. Hold on.
Wonderful.
There is a, now you should be fine. Try it again.
All right. Very good. Let's go here and let me know if you can see my screen.
Not yet. Not yet. I think if you back out, if you click the image in the box that says share screen,
Yes.
it'll share the whole desktop.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah, got it. There you go.
Okay, now let me get back into my.
And we'll give you an extra minute, James.
I do appreciate that. Sorry, everybody.
Fair enough.
It just seems a shame if I don't get to share this with you.
Go to the bottom.
Here we go. Can you see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Ooh,
Okay, so I have an
news.
overview here for the next 6.5 minutes. I would like to say a few words about fake news and then move on to influence, persuasion, and motivation. And then confirmation bias, the main part of my talk, critical thinking, media literacy, and how all of that applies to hypnosis. Fake news is something that I hear every day. I hear it in conversation. I see it on social media. Fake news is any news or report that's not true or accurate, or if it's deliberately misleading. And by the way, truth is not the same thing as accuracy. So what's true about any news? Well, it's hard to know if you're just looking at the one report, but there are ways to determine truth and accuracy. I'll go over that in a minute. Not all of the information in the mainstream media is false. And not all videos on YouTube are accurate or true. How do we know that? Well, I'll let you know. Fact checking is gone into overdrive in the last 4 years. There are more fact checkers employed than ever before. And there are some very good reasons why news organizations want to do fact checking. One of them is very simple, it's to avoid lawsuits. Some of them don't care as much, such as the National Enquirer, are unafraid of lawsuits. They've lost some very big ones, lost millions of dollars, but they're relying on people not suing them because it's a pain in the neck and it's very expensive. The other thing is that organizations, believe it or not, want to preserve their good reputation, and so do the individual journalists. If a journalist gets caught telling a lie or making an egregious mistake, they may not be able to work ever again as a journalist or reporter. Now, influence, persuasion, and motivation is what I started with. It ended up with me becoming a hypnotist, but I was very, very interested in how this is done. How am I being influenced and persuaded, and how can I do that with others? At the time I was teaching, and I had finished with my journalism career, I moved on. But in terms of influence, persuasion, and motivation, we're all being influenced all the time by all media, social media, newspapers, magazine articles, radio, TV, whatever it is. Those companies presenting the information have a huge motivation to keep you engaged. So you can keep clicking and looking at ads and engaging. So just if you're consuming any media, just accept that you're being influenced. People are trying to make sure that you buy into their ideas, their attitudes, products, services, and worldview. The first time I was ever aware of something like this, it was something that was actually pretty obvious and explicit. As a young man, as a teenager reading Playboy magazine, there was an article in there every month that said, what kind of man reads Playboy. And I knew that this was an obvious ploy to describe who their ideal customer was and to see if they could get me to be that. And of course, I was influenced by that.
It had articles?
So it was a monthly column. Yeah. And I did buy into it. In fact, I held on to those ideas for quite a while until maturity kicked in and I was able to move beyond that. So this famous quote is sometimes attributed to Mark Twain. It ain't what you don't know that gets you into trouble. It's what you know for sure that just ain't so. Mark Twain apparently didn't say that, but he said something very much like it. Confirmation bias is caused by our own beliefs, opinions, attitudes, past experience, knowledge. These are the things that we carry with us as part of the fabric of our being. They're always in the background, and it's what we're responding with when new information comes in. It can be said that we see what we want to believe. Sometimes we all see the same images or movie, but we interpret it differently and we come away believing something opposite. It's more comfortable to allow information that we agree with, rather than to have to stretch and agree with something that doesn't fit in with the pattern that we've already built for ourselves. Confirmation bias is something that we confront with our clients. They come with their beliefs, attitudes, opinions. They come with a lot of limiting beliefs. It's the thing that causes their resistance. Of course, if we can get them to have more willingness than resistance, then we've got a shot at helping them along. Confirmation bias includes filtering. There is so much information, not even considering media. Let's say just sitting in a room with your eyes open, there are about 1,000 pieces of information coming in. Your conscious mind cannot track all of it. We're preconditioned. We filter out most information simply because we can't track it all, we can't handle or manage it all. So we only see what we think is important, what the subconscious perceives as important, sometimes urgent or critical. Emotional states can cause different levels of filtering. I looked at a word here. In other words, for example, somebody who's depressed or sad will filter out anything that's happy or funny. And they start to have this tunnel vision about life. Even studies have shown even will occupy the same small areas of their homes because the world becomes so small because of all their filtering. But sometimes what we're filtering out might be information that would be of great value at this moment in our lives. So as you're going along in life, observe your own behaviors. Notice if you're scouring the internet. This is just an example, looking for one voice that agrees with your inclinations. If you're ignoring the obvious, many similar messages coming in, and you just need to find that one lone voice in the wilderness that agrees with you. See if you can prove or disprove the items that are being reported. And if your reaction is, you see, it took me 10 hours, but I found this video. See, I told you I was right. If you find yourself doing that, you might just want to take a look at all of the other information that's available and compare it. If you're reacting right now to the presentation or to me, your beliefs right now are shaping your reaction to me. And I put in a little cartoon in here for your amusement. Frank's long-held beliefs. It looks like Frank's going to hang on. Look at his arms folded. He's dug in. Now, critical thinking comes in. It's related to confirmation bias. Critical thinking, it's not blind acceptance of the information in front of you. This, by the way, also pertains to clients. When a client tells me something, I don't know that that thing happened. I don't have personal knowledge of it. All I know is that they're saying what happened. So I need to examine all of the information. If it's a story or report, I'm going to ask myself, who is this reporter? What sources did they use? Is this somebody I've read before? Do they have a good reputation? I'm going to compare it with other contemporary reports. What else is being reported about this subject? Is it consistent with previously known information, something that already happened that we know happened? What questions are not being asked and answers in the report? So the standard things that every Cub reporter knows is to answer who, what, when, where, why, and how. I love that somebody recently sent me a video on YouTube, and I watched the whole thing. It says 20 minutes I'm never going to get back, because I love this person and I respect them. But my response was, the video is undated. The persons speaking are not named, and I don't know where this equipment was used, which states it was used in, and how many of them. So thank you for sending that, but it's unconvincing as it stands. If a client is telling me something I don't know what had happened, I don't have any reason to doubt my client, but they might not be telling me exactly the way it happened. Did it really happen? What do we know, or what can I discern that's true about what they're telling me? In one example, a client told me that he killed his sister. Now, on the face of it, I'm going to have a certain approach to the session, but I needed to do some questioning, because my approach to my clients and to issues is journalistic. I ask a lot of questions until I can understand what the issue is from several sides. But especially, I want to be able to see the world the way they're seeing it, so I can join them there and see if I can help them out of it. So by asking questions and paying close attention to their responses, verbal and nonverbal, I can kind of, to my satisfaction, get to the bottom of it. Media literacy is something that I wish were taught in elementary schools, and I wish that most adults in the country would at least become aware of what it is. Media literacy is becoming intelligent about how this message was prepared for you. How is it being worded in the report? What words and phrases indicate that they're actually opinions and editorializing and not what actually happened? The wording pertains to hypnosis because, in my opinion, the art of hypnosis is how we're speaking. Now, which messages are presented first and last? So Sarah Carson has the advantage of having primacy. She was the first one to speak. At the end of the evening, you might remember her message first because she was first. And the last person to speak would have recency. Pay attention in the message of repetition, stacking the message, overloading and compounding. These are things that we do as hypnotists when we're giving suggestions. Who is presenting the information? Is it sponsored by a for-profit organization that would give them an axe to grind, or a political action committee? Are they trying to convince you of something? Pay attention to the production. Is there music in it? If there's music, this is not news. You're being manipulated. Music is always used to influence your mood. Are the images altered? If it's black and white, it's probably been altered. Nobody shoots black and white on purpose, or possibly photoshopped. Now, what does this all have to do with hypnosis? Well, we need to clear ourselves of the background, the undue influence. And we have to make sure that when we're talking to clients, we have given up those preconceived notions. We're going to leave them aside during the time that we're doing the session. Keep clearing before the session, during the session, after the session. Create your own energy. Do this in the morning, do it before the session. Ask for feedback from your client, from other hypnotists. If you can be in a study group, I find that most helpful. And keep current with topics and techniques. It would be great if you can maintain a specialty. Even though you're doing other kinds of issues, maintaining a specialty will help keep your focus. Watch out for your own bias. It's going to show up in the form of your own limiting beliefs. In my own case, I need to believe that my client has unlimited possibilities. If I'm not committed to that, I'm not truly there for them. I'm not going to be present. Limiting beliefs and bias will show up in patterns of our own behaviors. You might find that you're relying on 1 or 2 inductions when there are millions available. You might be limiting your techniques and patterns and approaches. So my advice and my suggestion to you is don't get lazy, open up a little. And lastly, what if you don't like your client? What if their beliefs are so diametrically opposed to what you believe? Well, I got some sage wisdom from a massage therapist about 20 years ago, and here's what she told me. I asked her the question, what if you're working on somebody you don't like? She said, well, deep down, we're all human. That's where I meet them. And she didn't have to say anything else. I understood what she was talking about. I sure say thank you very much for your polite attention to me. And before I turn it over to Michael, just listen to the sound of my voice and just imagine that you're relaxing very deeply, calmly, perfectly. Just train your eyes on the screen. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, James. Nice stuff, and timely reminders as well. And so good material. Good. Thank you so much, James, for contributing to this evening and giving us your blessing. And by the way, at the top of your screen somewhere, you'll see a place where it says "Stop Sharing." And if not, I think I can also turn it. Oh, I can turn it off here for you. There we
You
go.
better, because I'm hypnotized now.
I got it. Yeah, I got it. All right.
Thank you, James.
Yeah, thank you very much, everybody. Give them
Thank
a
you.
round here.
Thank you so much.
Interesting.
All right. And our next presenter moving right along is Jess Marion. And you all know Jess. So without further ado, I'm just going to let Jess take it right away.
Right. Hey, everybody. Happy holidays. And to help celebrate, I wanted to share a nice meditation. So make yourself comfortable and go ahead and just close your eyes. And with your eyes closed, just allow your jaw to relax. So it's like you could even just drop a little bit. You can move your awareness from your jaw to the back of your tongue, back where your tongue meets your throat. And just send the intention for that part of the tongue to relax, so that you might find the tip of the tongue resting on the top or the roof of the mouth. The jaw relaxed, and relaxing the tongue in this way sends a signal through your nervous system that it's time to relax. And as you do this, you can bring your attention to your breathing. Just noticing it at whatever rhythm you're breathing. And begin to get a sense that you can breathe in and out directly from your heart. So it's like you're breathing directly into the heart space and then breathing out directly from the heart. And as you breathe in, counting to 5 mentally. And as you breathe out, counting to 5 again, mentally. Nice, even breaths. And as that happens, you can also be aware of other things. And if you happen to lose count of the breath, that's fine. Just having a sense of the even flow in and out from the heart. Because you can also feel all of the spaciousness inside of your body. It's like you can imagine the arms and the legs as if they were hollow tubes filled with space. All the space in your throat, all the space in your fingers, all of the space in your torso. It's like you can sense the space in between the atoms that make up you. You can also be aware of the spaciousness of your surroundings. All of the space in front of you. All of the space to your left and to your right. All the space behind you. Above you and below you. Now, there might be someone you'd like to energetically connect with for a moment. It could be someone who's close to you, someone in the same space, or someone miles and miles away. But allow someone to come to mind who you really care for, someone you love. And as you're breathing in and out from the heart, just having a sense of that love flowing from you to that other person. And of course, any love that's flowing from you to that other person can flow back, reflecting back into you, sending love out and bringing it back in. And I can't think of a more lovely way to spend the holiday season than connecting with those who we can be in the same space with, and even those who we can't this year. And every time you send love out, the universe gifts it back. So when you're ready, just allowing your awareness to fully return to your body, opening the eyes, becoming more aware of the space around you, the room around you, feeling the life return to your hands, your feet, your arms, and your legs. And I want to wish everybody a very, very happy holiday season.
Lovely, lovely, lovely. So sending love out and taking love in and sending some love out to you, Jess. And thank you for doing that. And everybody, let her know by a show of applause, I guess, if your microphones are off. That's great.
Yes, happy holidays.
Thank you.
By the
Happy
way- by the
holidays.
way, I've got to point out, Jess did something really tricky there, and hypnotists and influencers should take note. Is that what she did at the very beginning was had us all close our eyes so that I couldn't watch the clock. So that's all right. It was wonderful. And by the way, for the drinking game, Karen had suggested the word hypnosis. I thought that was going to be too dangerous in a night like tonight. So instead of hypnosis, I decided that I would just take a drink every time I heard the word. I asked my unconscious mind, what will be my word for the drinking game? And it said, the.
That's great.
So I'm doing pretty well here. I've gone through about 4 bottles now, a shot at a time. All righty. So thank you very much, Jess.
Thank you.
And we are going to fly right by here to the next presenter, who is Jessica, who has a lovely metaphor to tell us that I am looking forward to hearing. Are you there, Jessica?
Hey, yes, I am. I'm assuming you mean me.
Hi, Jessica.
Hi. So my offering for the Christmas party is decorating your tree of life. And if you guys will see Joni's tree in the background, it's amazing. So keep that in mind as we go. So if you wish, you can close your eyes, and I'll see if I can throw Michael off again. Close your eyes, get comfortable. And I want you to just let the picture of a tree come into your mind. And just notice, is it real or fake? If it's fake, maybe you should call me or your fellow hypnotist after this conference call. But if it's a real tree, I want you to just look at it and notice. Is it kind of like that Charlie Brown tree, kind of like a twig that needs some help, some loving care? Is it a paper tree on the wall? Or is it like that big, ginormous Griswold family tree that just doesn't fit in the room? Or is it just right? So now that we have this tree, we know a little bit about ourselves, a little bit more about you. And now I wonder, let's start decorating this tree, because that's what makes the tree special. A tree on its own without decorations is really just a plain tree. And so I wonder if we can add some lights. And I wonder if those lights are perhaps strings of light, or are they those old-fashioned beautiful candles with those little bubbly lights in them? Whatever kind of lights are on your tree is just right for you. And these are those things in your life that light you up. Those things that really get you excited and get you going, excited about life and who you are. And then let's move on to the ornaments. Let's start with all those beautiful old ornaments that we've cherished throughout the years. And you may be surprised to find that as you hang these ornaments on the tree next to the lights, that these ornaments are your family, your friends, those skills and talents that you have that make you uniquely you. And then you find the new ornaments, the ones that you just got this year. Those are your new friends, your new skills from all of the classes and conferences you've attended online, and all of your new talents, like perhaps cooking, cleaning, decorating, doing a special craft, or learning a new induction. Now we come to the pièce de résistance, the garland and tinsel, the things that really make the tree shine. They fill in all of the gaps so that you barely see the tree. These are those other things that make you stand out and shine in the world. Some of those things that you're not even aware of, but others around you are. And now I wonder if you can look up at the very top of your tree and notice what you place there. This is your crowning glory. Some call it their connection to the universe. It may be a star, an angel, or something else. Step back from the tree after you've placed the topper on and take it all in. Notice how beautifully it's adorned, how complete it is, and how you really don't even see the tree or you underneath anymore, underneath all of these lights and ornaments and tinsel and garlands and crowned at the top. And notice the beauty. And I wonder if you step back just a bit more and you look underneath. Do you notice anything? Are there any gifts or packages? Notice whose name is on them. These are for you. These are those wonderful words of thanks and gratitude, a hug or a warm embrace. These are the priceless gifts given back to us by our clients, our colleagues, our friends and family, and our new acquaintances. These wonderful gifts that we give to ourselves. And you and I both know that if we don't like how our tree is decorated, we can start over, stripping it down to just the tree with branches. We can move it around in the room to just the right place. And then we can decorate it again. Instead of lights, maybe we have candles. And instead of so much garland and glitz, perhaps we have less. And we just let the light shine on the beautiful ornaments. And whatever your tree is just right for you. There is no right or wrong. Small or large is just fine. They're all beautiful. Just like in the beginning of Charlie Brown, when they chose the little twig on a plank. By the end of the show, it was a beautiful tree, the star of the show, wrapped in blankets and lights and wonderful things. So no matter how far away or near you are, know that your light shines through the darkness. Position yourself near a window to the world and let your light shine. Taking in that image of the tree, taking it with you as long as you wish. Bringing yourself back to full conscious awareness, back to your room. Hi, guys. And I know this was a little shorter, but how did everyone enjoy that?
That's lovely.
Very much.
Very lovely.
I had the pleasure of looking at Joni's lovely tree while I was doing this. So it was real great inspiration.
That worked out great.
Oh, thank you guys.
How lovely.
Happy holidays.
Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Jessica.
Thank you. Now I know how I'm going to decorate one of the trees in my house.
Yeah.
All there.
All right. Well, I had Santa Claus on the top of my Christmas tree.
I have Mickey Mouse.
Oh, well, yeah, we don't do that in Orlando.
Well, of course you don't. But after so many trips with the girls and being a Disney family, we decided it was appropriate. So we kept it.
All right. Okay, well, then we are moving along now to Rick Green, who is going to tell us a story about a process that he uses. Rick, are you there?
I am here.
Lovely. Say hello to the folks.
Hi, Rick.
Well, hello, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. It's great here to be with you. Right now, I got stuck in my head from Jessica's metaphor. This little light of mine, I'm going to let it shine. So, but I'm a little distracted. So anyways, I want to share with you kind of a story. It's a Christmas miracle, maybe, if you'd consider that. I have a friend, and I've worked with her on hypnosis for many things: weight loss, stop smoking, things like this. Not a client, a friend. And she developed a very, very serious issue. And to the point where no doctors really knew about it. Only the Mayo Clinic and the Cleveland Clinic had any way of treating her. She had 2 hip replacements that were defective and leached poison into her, chromium and cobalt, which ate away her muscle, ate away her bones, and was slowly killing her with dementia, suicidal ideation, and everything. So I want to tell you a little story about, I took her to Cleveland, and I used a process that I learned in the 1980s before I was into hypnosis. I was doing the Silva method and other forms of things. And as we know, everything's hypnosis, correct? It's all hypnosis. And I learned this in a book on the Hawaiian tradition of huna. And I've adapted it because I've used it for myself for so many years. And some people teach it different ways, but it is very, very powerful. And the story kind of illustrates how powerful this can be. So she needed 2 new hip replacements, both hips. And it was very, very intensive surgery. And her insurance wasn't going to cover it because they didn't even know what this was. They were just ruling her psychotic and stuff. As it turned out, when I went to Vegas to another hypnosis conference, there was someone there that had gone through the same exact thing. And by a confluence of circumstances, we learned what her actual problem was. So the story is very long and convoluted. Well, let me just tell you a little bit about this. And it's what I call about metaphorical reshifting. This is how I use it and work with it. Very simple, very easy. And she had done this, so she knew what I was doing. I took her down. We drove 300 miles in a terrible, terrible snowstorm where she was in a lot of pain, but she had to do some type of pre-surgery tests and things like this. We were only supposed to be down there for a day, turn around and drive right back. I'm outside in the waiting room, and it's only supposed to be about an hour of things she's going through. And I hear her back there for over an hour and a half, pretty much screaming. You know, everyone can hear this. She's yelling. She's in very much intense pain. And this is a person who really doesn't show pain too much, but they had done something, hit a needle, popped something in her hip bursa sac or something, and she couldn't move. She couldn't get up and walk. She was like totally immobilized. Finally, a nurse came out and says, there's been some complications. We're going to admit her. We don't know what's going on, but she's calling for you And so if you want to go back there, but she is in a lot of pain. So I go back there and she is literally, white knuckled, grabbing the chair and stuff where she's sitting in the wheelchair. And the doctor's there and explaining to me that she's going to be admitted. He's going to be consulting with other people. He doesn't know what happened. And so I says, look, do you mind if I work with her, try a few things? And he's like, oh, okay. He says, I've ordered up some medications and stuff. And but I told him, I says, look, I'm a hypnotist and I've worked with her before. I think I can help. And so he says, whatever. So he just kind of stands back and he's filling out some charts and stuff. And it literally took her less than 2 minutes. And we got up and walked out. And what I did was I just, it's metaphorical reshifting. And I says, that pain that you have right there, what is it? Now, many of you may know this technique and have used it, but I want to share how powerful it is. What is that? What's the image? And she's still in pain. She's like, I don't know. I can't do it. I can't do it. And I says, no, you can do it. And very forcefully guided her in there. I says, what is it? It's a blue octopus. It's a blue octopus. It's in my hip and it's the tentacles are just reaching out, going through my body. And it's just like squeezing me and tightening me, and those are just tentacles of pain. And it's reaching out. Now, I'm sure you can imagine, that image of pain, that feeling. And I says, all right, now what can you do to change that, improve it, remove it, or make it better for yourself? I had worked with her on techniques like this, so she knew what I was doing. And she's like, I don't know. And she couldn't come to it at first. And then she sat there and I says, close your eyes, go into trance. You've been there before. Go into trance and find your answer. And she went down. She's white knuckled. Her knuckles started relaxing. She's stretching her fingers out, just kind of stretching out. And she says, okay. And she says, it's gone. And the doctor looks over and he's like, what? And she says, we can go now. And she stood up and this doctor's like, his jaw drops. He's like, well, what did you do? And of course I wanted to know what she did too, because the key to this is they have to find their own answer. We don't direct them and say, okay, kill the octopus, put salt on it, burn it, remove it. I says, what'd you do to make that octopus disappear? And she was a gardener and she had encountered in the garden about a week prior, a tick on her, and she flicked it off. And she says, I just grew and grew till I was about 50 or 100 feet tall until that octopus just became only a small little tick and I flicked it off with my mind. And she's like, I'm all better now. And the doctor says, are you serious? And she says, yeah. And of course, he asked me all about hypnosis and everything. And so that was very cool. We had a very good discussion. But from there, we drove home 300 miles where, within 2 minutes, she had changed from such intense pain. They were going to give her narcotics and admit her and overnight and things like that. And now it was over. So it was very good. So my message to you is take your gifts, use them in real life, give your gifts to others and take their pain away whenever you can. Because everybody's in pain right now, and share with that, allow that to be, my gift to you is to take your gifts and give them to others. Thank you for your time.
You bet. Thank you. And everybody, applause for Rick. And what a nice reminder, Rick, Christmas time, take your gifts and share them with others. Thank you so much for reminding us of that in the spirit of the season. He didn't say the word "the" as often as some others previously have, so I think I'm going to be able to get through to the next introduction. And our next presenter, I've got to tell you, I am just absolutely in love with this guy. And I hope he's not embarrassed to have me say that in public. But seriously, Wes Rocky is a recent friend of ours in the last year or so, a little bit longer than that, and he's been doing this incredible work with improv. And I am just on fire with thoughts and things that he's stimulated in me about improvisation and hypnosis. So I'm always anxious to see Wes when I can, and here he is now. So say hello, Wes.
Oh, Michael, you throw our secrets out in public. Come on. Ladies and gentlemen, it's almost the end of 2020.
Yay.
We made it. We made it. Why don't we anchor it and assume the giant figure and say, I am a giant. Come on. I am a giant.
I am a giant.
In privacy of your home, I am a giant. Oh, I'm a giant.
I'm a giant.
Yes. And now we can go slowly towards the magical night of New Year's Eve.
Mm.
And then we wake up. Oh shit, nothing happens. The same. So for that very unlikely scenario, I would like to equip you with something magical, because there is small possibility that what we learn in 2020 may still, to some extent, be applicable to 21. So if you can look at this glorious 2020 and collapse all the knowledge, all the experience to one word, maybe new awareness, maybe new skill, a one word which can synthesize all your glorious resilience of 2020. One word. Maybe love, maybe self-love, maybe family, maybe money, maybe pizza, maybe beer, maybe play girl and play boy, whatever. One word which help us to get through of 2020. And now let's do the magic. Let's anchor the I am the hero with that magical word which carried us through 2020, right? So let's assume the same position of hero. Let's go together. In privacy of your home, you say in conviction, as loud as possible, with the mouth, muchos gusto as possible. I am a hero of, and add your words.
Lovely.
Add your.
I'm a hero of simplification.
I am a hero of enthusiasm.
Oh, fantastic. And to make it super, super powerful, let's share this with this beautiful, magical brothers and sisters of hypnotists. So let's turn on your microphone and bring your message.
Yes.
I am the hero. Sherry, you are next. Shelly.
I am authentic.
The hero of?
I am a hero of authenticity.
Wow! And let's applaud it.
Yay!
Whoa.
All right.
Michael, your turn.
I am a hero of enthusiasm.
Yay! Please go spontaneously, whoever next.
I am the hero of happiness.
Yay! Happiness!
I am a hero of creativity.
Creativity!
Flexibility.
Flexibility! All right.
I am a hero of resilience.
Patience.
Jen, you were. Jen?
I am a hero of patience.
Patience.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
All right, Jen.
Who else? Danielle. What hero you are?
I'm the hero of miracles.
Wow!
Right, hero of miracles.
Yes, did you share your hero?
I am the hero of transformation.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Transformation. Yes, all right.
Wow. Sarah, the storyteller. Who are
I
you?
am a hero of creativity. Again.
Ooh.
Rick, the most famous hypnotist. What is your hero?
I am the hero of resilience.
Whoa, whoa. Lisa, what is your hero?
I am the hero of tenacity.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yvette.
I'm the hero of family.
Lovely.
Right, family.
Kelly.
I'm the hero of getting rid of stuff.
The hero of getting rid of stuff. All right, everybody needs one.
Chris, you are muted. Would you join us? Chris? No?
I guess, I live alone in a house. I just came here a few months ago. So I guess I would say I'm the hero of silence. I learned.
Wow.
Silence.
Yes.
Yeah,
James,
silence.
what are you hero of?
I am a hero of resilience.
Wow, wow, wow.
Silence. Yay.
Renee.
I am also a hero of resilience.
Wow.
Resilience. All right.
Catherine.
Kind of year.
Catherine with beautiful lights. Are you a hero?
Yep, I'm the hero of presence.
Wow, wow,
All
wow.
right.
Yay.
Who is left? David, did you share your hero? Yeah. Jessica, Richard, Olivia. Olivia.
I'm a hero of joy.
Wow.
Yay.
Great idea.
Anyone else who didn't disclose your heroism?
I'm
Stephanie.
the hero of rebirth.
Wow.
Uncle.
Everyone else? Fantastic. Fantastic. So, my dear friends, we are done. We are anchored.
Excellent.
We are anchored. We are safe. We then navigate into 21 and make it very different because we have the magic of one word. And we make it bigger and most beautiful. And when we meet again in a year, we don't need any words to remember. It will be just joy on our face. So happy holidays, my friends. Thank you.
Happy holidays to you, Wes. Thank you very much.
Lovely.
Lovely. What a nice thing. You know, it's funny. I noticed there were 3 or 4 people there that said that they were the hero of Brazilians, but I realized that was maybe because of the drinking game.
There are a lot of these in the last 2.
There were a lot of these in the last 2. Yes, and as a matter of fact, Joni, by the way, you are going to be our next presenter. So so glad that you're here with that beautiful Christmas tree behind you and hubby at your side. So welcome and please carry on.
Thank you. So I'll start with some great news. I have a very short presentation. And of course, for me I'm kind of polarized in the sense of I talk for a long time normally. So I said, this is a challenge for me to talk for 5 minutes or less. And now I feel like in the interest of the other presenters, it needs to be 3 minutes or less. So I can do that. Here we go, right? Take on a challenge, let's see what happens. So first of all, I'd like to say I love the metaphor. I loved everything. I've been making notes because I'm learning so much already. I last year did a Christmas tree metaphor as well. Loved Jessica so much. I connected with Karen Hand, so we'll have to talk about that later. I had my love like going to you, so I hope you could feel that. I'm excited because I'm going to show you something really quickly that what I did was I polled my clients and sports clients. I had a couple for smoking last weekend, and then some of the counseling clients that I did. I said, what do you think has helped you the most this year? And so I am a hero of happiness personally, because I've had one of my talents, and I would say that one of my biggest gifts is shifting and resetting. And it always has been, because I don't know if that comes from being a mom for 100 years and a grandparent and all that, but for whatever reason, I appreciate it. And I can also transfer that to other people quickly and it seems like efficiently and with good results. So box breathing with intention is what I'm going to show you how I do it. A much quicker version so we can move on and let the other presenters, but we're actually making a video of this, so I'll be happy to pass it on so that people can see it. It's what the words I heard earlier that I loved was simple, easy, and quick. And this year that has been both necessary and produce very good results. And we know that's true. So here we go. The simple, easy, and quick version of my box breathing with intention, or square breathing, whatever you want to call it. Most of you are probably familiar with it, but I just want to tell you how I do it. Obviously, with everybody having to constantly switch back and forth, getting new information and saying, what do I do now? Oh, okay, I know what to do now. Whoops, I don't know what to do now. Now I'm stepping over into this role. But I think it's actually been a great opportunity when we look past all the, the horrible things, and we look to the side that we want to focus on, which is, the side that keeps us moving forward. And that is learning. Some people have never been in a position where they actually had to shift and reset. And so I've been teaching my clients this shift and reset. So I don't know if you can see this, but also I could send you a picture of it. Okay, so here's a visual, and also kinesthetically clients can use, see this frame? This is what all my clients leave with that learn this technique, because they can touch it, they can hang it on the wall, it'll remind them what to do. It has a diagram of how to do the square breathing, even though it's not difficult, they forget because they're so hypnotized in the session, and we're guiding them through it. But basically I give them a framework, and it goes like this, right? So that with the square breathing, and the order doesn't really matter, but we inhale through the nose, we hold, we exhale, and then we rest or inhale or hold again. And so we're at the top of the box, and it can be anywhere, but the first thing I have them say is right here, right now. So that's automatically resetting them to the present, right here, right now. And then the next, so they're inhaling, now they're holding, I choose. And so I'm not going to, decide what it is that they're choosing in the moment, but in a moment, I'm just going to share with you something that I would be choosing right now. And then as they're exhaling, as I let go of, and I ask them to dramatically exhale. I always ask them to dramatically exhale because I really want to get rid of this. And then as they hold again, after that exhale, and experience and whatever it is that they're experiencing instead. And this goes nicely with, more of what I want, less of what I don't want. And so this is going to be a little bit longer, but I'm going to shorten it up. Like I said, we can do this other ways and pass it on along. But here we go. So I'm going to share with you mine. We're not going to do the counting. Larry and I were going to show you how that works so beautifully. If you have someone, if there's a parent in the session, Kelly, I know you work with kids a lot. I have my athletes' parents, if they're younger, come in the sessions and other kinds of sessions as well. But so here is mine, right here, right now. And I mean this sincerely. I choose happiness. Letting go in this moment of anything else, anything around me, anybody, anything. And I experience gratitude. And if I could expand on that, this meaningful time with friends who just happen to be wonderful change makers. And that is it. That's as simple as it gets. But this one technique is the one they all reported to result in the biggest change and so meaningful. And they can do it anywhere, anytime. So there you have it. Happy holidays, everyone.
Nice.
And this time it's my turn. Love from me to you. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you so much.
I do teach box breathing, but you gave me something to add to it. I love that. And yes, I'm going to adapt it to that. Thank you so much, Joni. And happy holidays to you and Larry. By the way, I took a picture of the two of you at a conference recently, and I think it's the only picture you have of the two of you on stage. Well, I just took another screenshot, so I'll send that to you in a moment.
Thank you. Thank you. We love that. And we loved it when you did that. It meant so much. Thank you.
We have one more. I'll send it to you later. Up next, we have David Ruby. David, what did you bring to share with us tonight? So excited to have you come on with us.
No pressure. Thanks, Karen. I have a story that's not my own. I have one from K.F. Thompson, which I thought was relevant for reasons that may become apparent later. And K.F. Thompson was one of Milton H.R. Erickson's proteges, and she has a delightful book called The Art of Therapeutic Communication, which isn't important. But in one of her audios, she talks about a patient that was having a rhinoplasty. And imagine you're in front of a classroom and she's showing this on video. Apparently there's video that's out there, which I haven't seen, but she talks about the patient has no anesthesia except for hypnosis. It's a hypnotic anesthesia story for surgery. And they talk about how she's there for rhinoplasty, which they describe as you place a knife up someone's nose and a hammer and you crack the nose, bones up in the nose. And if you ever like cracked a rock with like a hammer and chisel, imagine that kind of visceral cracking sound, and very, very grotesque. And she's showing this to a bunch of hypnotic students that are learning hypnosis. And the patient is under no duress, very calm, able to talk to the doctors, one of which is amazed and doesn't believe this is happening. Kind of like the doctor in Rick Green's story, actually. And patient is totally fine. And while she's there, the surgeon says, let's do a dermabrasion. Well, not just says it. She was there also for the dermabrasion. She'd had some scarring on her face from acne. And dermabrasions, when they have like a kind of like a Dremel tool, it's emery board, and they go and they shave off a layer of the skin. And normally you can't get the video from that because, as she describes it, turns everything that's green in the room, like the scrubs, into a shade of red because of all the skin and blood and this kind of mist kind of suspended. Very, very holiday, appropriate story here. But so they, in this case, the patient had no bleeding from the nose when she had the broken bones, no bleeding from the skin during dermabrasion. And Kay is discussing how this patient had no pain during recovery and recovered very fast, and says something to the effect that, and since she had the foresight to understand that since there's no pain in the procedure, there should be no pain in the recovery. And so I had no pain during the whole recovery. And if you caught that, that was the shift from her to I, because I was from the screen. And there's this wonderful moment where the crowd, there's this kind of murmur of awe. And one woman, I love it, you can hear her saying, oh my God. And that's the most pure moment of shock I've ever heard someone say in my life. And it was wonderful. It was a great, great story. But since I think all of us are hypnotists, there are 2 points she brings up that are also wonderful. First, it's a great story. It's her self-hypnotic anesthesia. Pretty impressive. She talks about 2 things, though, that I think are relevant. One is motivation. What's either your motivation or the client's motivation to go into trance or make change or do whatever funny phenomena we ask of them? Because if it's just us saying sleep and that arm will start to rise, that might work. But if there's no motivation, then why should their unconscious cooperate with us? So eliciting motivation or realizing what their motivation is for change or whatever they're there for is worth considering. The other point is, how many of you have any conscious doubt ever with the client or doing anything hypnotic? Any of you ever have any kind of doubts consciously? No one's going to admit to this. Great. I have. But Kay talks about how during this procedure, again, this doctor's coming at her with a knife and chisels and a hammer, for God's sake. And she had all this doubt. And even as they're starting this procedure, she's thinking consciously, I got to get out of here. This isn't going to work, which I thought was very telling. But she said that essentially her unconscious allowed it to happen. Unconsciously, which is very Ericksonian, I suppose, she knew it was going to work. So I think it's important to realize that we and our clients can have doubt consciously, and that's okay, because it's really your unconscious that knows whether it's going to work or not, knows what you or the person is capable of doing. So that's my story. It's not really my story, but I thought it was wonderful. And since it had such gore and red themes, it was very festive, I thought, you know, so you're welcome.
Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, David. Lovely stuff. Lovely, lovely stuff. Kay Thompson, everybody. I love David that you bring her up often. Somebody to look into if for those of you who aren't familiar with her, and thanks for giving us that as a Christmas gift. We are now going to shift just a little bit because I think we have some entertainment, a little bit of a game with the next presenter, and that will be Stephanie Conkle. So Stephanie, step right up to the microphone and share with us.
Hi, can you hear me? Okay, I'm on mute. Happy holidays, everybody.
Love the lights.
So thank you, thank you. I have the hat too, but it's a little too small for my head because it's a kid's hat. And I've got the tacky sweater. I don't know if I showed you, Michael, but here's my
sweater.
Oh yeah, so we're gonna shift gears a little bit here, and we're gonna do a game, and it's a game for your unconscious. Speaking of unconscious, and I did buy Kay Thompson's book based on David's recommendation, and it is good stuff. It's kind of pricey, but it's good stuff. So I got to go to my screen as well. So hang on. Oh, everybody, if you have a piece of paper with you, or find a piece of paper and number it from 1 to 25. All right, and can everybody see this?
Yep.
Okay, great. Okay, so this is a game that is going to flash a picture on your screen. It's going to be a holiday scene for 5 seconds. And then it will ask you a question on the next slide. You only have 5 seconds to look at it, so you can't really consciously think about it. You just have to let your subconscious absorb it and then answer the question on the next slide. It'll be some little detail. So there's 25 of these questions. It does, or at least to me, it kind of felt hard when I first started, but then my subconscious caught on and it got easier as we went along. And so yeah, and whoever's the winner, you'll get a prize from me, which will be one of my products worth around $25-ish. And I'll send it to one of my digital products, and I'll just send that to your private message. But are we ready to play Christmas Snap?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right, let's do it. All right, make sure I can. Hang on. Uh-oh, we might have a problem. You're gonna, oh, no, we don't. Okay. There we go. All right. All right. All right, I'm clicking the pit. Hang on, guys. Oh, here it goes. All right. How many red ornaments did you see? Write it down. Was the writer wearing any rings? What color were the balls on the tree? Did all the nutcrackers have a mustache? How many people were in the sleigh on the large ornament? What words were on the building in front? What was the dog on the left carrying in his mouth? Was there a star on the tree? What denomination is St. Mark's Church? How many points were on the stars? What image was on the card of the snowman's hand? What was the address on the house? Was there a snowman in the picture? What was the ratio of blue to red scarves? Was there a gingerbread man on the wrapping paper? What was a snowman on the right carrying? How many wreaths were in the picture? What was the name of the movie theater? How many points is Xmas worth? Was there smoke coming out of the chimneys? How many pairs of ski boots did you see? Which instruments were the reindeer playing? many soccer balls were in the picture? Which colored car had the tree that was not tied down? Which arm was Santa waving with? All right, how did you do? So we're not going to, I'm not going to replay it, but I'll go through the list of answers. Let me stop sharing my screen. Oh wait, did I stop sharing?
Yeah.
My screen? Okay. Okay. Awesome.
That was hard.
Audra, like Christmas snap. A little tough, but who thinks they did okay? Yeah, Shelley? Who thinks they did awesome? David?
Awesome. You always say you did awesome.
All right. So go through and score yourselves. So number 1, the answer is 2. Number 2, the answer is no. 3, white. 4, yes. 5 is 3. 6, bed and breakfast. 7, stuffed duck. 8, no.
Bad guesser.
50-50 chance.
9, Episcopal.
I recognize the red door.
Yep. 10 is 6. 11 is tree. 12 is 102. 13 is no. 14, the ratio is 6 to 3. 15, the answer is no. 16, skis.
Why I had to study in school. Bad guesser.
17 is 3.
Woohoo.
18, this was a hard one for me. Paramount.
Yay!
For us in Seattle.
Hey, I'm celebrating.
You got it? Awesome. 19 is 14. 20 is no. 21 is 2 pairs.
Yay.
22 is guitar and drum. But if you got one or the other, I will consider it. I will take it.
We need all the help here.
You get extra credit if you got both. You can give yourself 2 points if you got guitar and drum. But if you got one or the other, you can give yourself 1 point. 23 is 2. 24 is pink. And 25 is, anyone want to take a guess?
Left.
Right.
Yes.
Left.
Left.
His left or my left?
Yeah, I was having to figure that out too. I think his left.
Oh wow.
All right. So how do you think you guys did? Like, do you think you did? All right. Yeah, maybe not as great as you thought.
Terrible. I got 7 out of 25. I was obviously filtering out all of the important information.
That's right.
I
Right?
filtered out the drums because I am a guitarist. So
I'm amazed. I got 13, Stephanie.
Looks like
I got 11.
I got 12.
Since
Anybody
got
have
11.
more than 18? It looks like David Ruby has 18.
I got 18 also.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Wow, that's great.
Wow,
Hey,
guys.
wow, 18 is great, guys.
Have you
That's
guys been playing a
great.
drinking game or what?
No, not at all.
There were a lot of these in that game.
There were a lot of these and those as well.
And
you did
those
that.
and these. Either one counts.
That was fun.
Anyone get more than 18 or is that the?
I think we have a tie.
Oh, we got a tie. All right, I'll send you both something. So, David, I know how to get in contact with you. James, I might need, I don't know, are we friends on Facebook? Probably.
Bet we are. I see you every day, Stephanie.
Send me a
I think it was
message.
Rick. I think it was
Send me a
David and
message
Rick
and
Green.
Stephanie, I think it was David and Rick Green.
I want the sportsmanship award. I want sportsmanship.
Rick Green and David had 18 apiece.
Oh, I thought David did too. Oh, so no, we got a three-way tie. Man, maybe we should do a tiebreaker.
Why don't you send them all a copy of your What Women Want for Christmas book?
There you go.
I could use that.
Send
Yeah.
you all, I'll send you all something. So all right, so we've got Rick.
Well, you know, they were self-scoring. I might want to see the actual score.
There you go.
I would
Man, I
have
They didn't allow any watchers in the room to.
No.
But we're not going to court over this because we have one more special presentation and we want to get to that. We definitely want to get to that. So Stephanie, you're square, right? That was a great game. Thank you.
Thank you. That's called Christmas Snap. Joni, I did terrible on it with the first one. So. I think I got
I love it. It was so great. Thank you.
It was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. And we do have another presentation. I know we're running a little late, but hey, come on. This is called After Hours at the Christmas Party. So stick around with us because we have another wonderful presentation from my dear friend, Kelly Woods. And Kelly, you are unmuted. Take it away, please.
Well, I, the, want, the, to, the, say, the, thank, the, you, the, who, the, happy, me, the, here, the, tonight, the, Michael, the. And it was just all of that.
Great.
No, really, it's funny because Michael invited me to come to this Christmas party, and of course I'll come. And he acted like I'd never been here before. And I'm like, Michael, I come to every single of your meetings. I can't help it if you guys all have a negative hallucination and you haven't seen me, and you always mute me. But here I am now, and I'm unmuted. And I'm going to be your laughter tour guide tonight. Some of you might know that I'm kind of a laughing specialist. And we know that laughter is one of the best medicines, if not the best. And I just love the idea of laughter therapy. And when I talk about laughter therapy, it's a practice of laughing unconditionally, meaning that it's not dependent on humor, although we've had lots of things here to be humorous about, and we're having a great time. You know, somewhere along the line tonight, I think it was probably when Jess was doing her meditation, I started to forget who I was. And then thankfully, Wes reminded me when he said my name. But, you know, we hypnotists have this great ability to suspend disbelief and to imagine. And so in celebration of John Lennon, I think I'd like to have you all just imagine that what we're going to do here today is a fantastic experience that will bring us all even closer, and that will elicit those feel-good chemicals that we know laughter can do. Now, there are many, many laughter recipes, and a lot of these come from laughter yoga. If you've never experienced laughter yoga, you need to. This was maybe 5 or 6 years ago at HypnoThoughts Live. I was in the vendor room and some sessions had ended, and these people were floating out of one of the adjacent presentation rooms. I mean, they were floating, they were levitating. I'm like, what's going on there? And Dave Berman had just done a laughter yoga session. And I was so intrigued, I wanted to know more about it. And so I went and talked to Dave, and by and by, we ended up collaborating and writing a book on the topic, which was so fun. And I learned all about the The Origins of Laughter Yoga, which was created by Dr. Madan Kataria, an Indian cardiologist who found that when he introduced laughter to his patients who were suffering, they started to improve. They started to get better. And he thought this was fantastic. So he started having weekly sessions in the park. But after a while, his jokes became a bit stale. And he came on to the idea of just having laughter exercises. And so it has now evolved to a worldwide phenomena, and you can experience it all over the place. And the great thing is that you can even experience it online. If you just Google Zoom laughter groups, you'll see that there are 3 or 4 times a day in any time zone, free meetings that you can log on to and enjoy some of the things that I'm going to guide you through here tonight. But so let's just start with one that's going to be really appropriate for the season. And you can unmute, or you can just do this without having yourself microphones on. I don't care, but it's kind of fun when we can hear all the energy from everybody too. And unless you are currently pregnant, Michael, or have just had surgery, you might want to, use some discretion on how hardy you do this. But really what laughter does, laughter exercises our internal organs. And what's amazing, and what Dave and I found was so fascinating, is that the body doesn't know the difference between real laughter that is from humor, from viewing something funny or sharing a joke, and this unconditional laughter, which is just simply the exercise of it. Just like with hypnosis, the body doesn't know the difference when you're in a hypnotic state, whether this thing is happening or not. And so you still get the same physiological responses. And I think that's fantastic. So the first little exercise we're going to do is simply laughing like Santa Claus does. And you want to really let this come from your diaphragm and just don't hold back. Join me now, and we'll just do some ho, ho, ho laughter. Okay, is everybody ready? There we go.
All unmute.
Yeah, unmute.
It's so much better with everybody.
Yeah, it's great. And, I do this in my office all the time. And at first, my clients are a little bit like, what kind of freak am I paying money to? And then they get into it. And online, Joni had mentioned that I work with a lot of kids and families. Well, I get a family laughing online and start them down this route, and then they start to do a daily laughter practice. It's amazing what happens. So here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Doesn't that feel good? Can you feel all that energy moving around in you? It is so cool. Now, not everything is hunky-dory and wonderful in the world. Sometimes we want to have an opportunity to maybe not be so happy, or maybe to get some of that frustration out. So I have a 2nd-degree black belt in karate, and I love the karate chop. So we could do some chop chop, couldn't we? So how about this? Go on, everybody. Candidate. Oh, doesn't that feel great? I love it, because too often we're just told to think positively, and that's all good, but all of our emotions are real, and this is a great way to express them. And how about another emotion? Now, I don't think there's enough romance in the world. In fact, that's my theme for 2021, so stay tuned, you guys. What if you were to get a love letter? Just imagine you're opening that love letter right now. Maybe some of you have received a love letter. Maybe you even have some that you've kept from years gone by. Opening your love letter. That was good. It feels so good, doesn't it?
That was good.
Love yourself in this way.
Oh boy.
Hey.
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
I love regression. Anyone who knows me might laugh at that. I do like to use regression for certain things, and I'm wondering what it would be like to do some regression laughter. Like, if you're 110 years old, how do you think you would laugh? Let's all do it.
Oh my God.
Well, what if you're middle-aged? Well, I don't know what middle-aged is. You know, my mother just turned 91 and she said, I'm middle-aged. So it's all relative, right? Well, maybe middle-aged then. Time of my life. I'm the smartest man in the world. I'm the best swimmer in the world. Good. Are you getting a little sweaty? Is that anything? It's a workout too, isn't it?
Oh, my cheeks hurt.
Oh my.
The best one.
That's what we call earned pain. And it is awesome. And then, what does a child laugh? How does a child laugh? Can you imagine? Oh, yeah, it feels so good, doesn't it?
It does.
You probably noticed that, you know, there's all these kinds of recipes and you can find them in different places, but I think the best ones are the ones that we just make up. So I'm just going to finish this whole round with you because I know that your bodies are all buzzing right now. Your minds are buzzing and you just feel so energized and so awesome. Understand also that those bonding chemicals are happening with everyone who's here in this room right now, just making us even closer than we were before. Now, how about if we do a little laughter song? How about if we do Jingle Bells to bring in the season even more? And I can't carry a tune in the bucket, but I can laugh a tune. I'm okay at that. So let's do it, shall we? Ha, 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 ha,
Very nice. Very nice.
Oh.
Guys, thanks for playing. And that was just a taste of having fun with laughter, and do it yourself, laugh in the shower. It is the anti-road rage, I guarantee. Anything happens out there and you just laugh at it, you're going to feel so much better than giving them the bird, right? Or any of the other things that people are inclined to do. If you have some pain, laugh at it. If you have some sadness, laugh at it. If you get in an argument, laugh instead of feeling bitter or resentful. It's an amazing remedy. It really is one of the best gifts that you can give to yourself. And thanks for laughing with me. You guys are awesome.
Oh, thank you, Kelly.
That
was so much fun. And smiling and laughter is really a good thing, but every once in a while I find that smirking and scoffing can also be really satisfying in the right set of circumstances. Thank you, you guys. This has been magnificent. Just one after another, lovely, lovely presentations and great, great people. I want to remind you all that the replays will be available tomorrow, so you can double check and see if Stephanie Conkle scored you right on that game.
Yeah, I'll be watching. Scored yourself. I'll have to see if anybody cheated.
So check it out tomorrow in the usual places, on the virtual chapter, on the Facebook, on the Facebook group, as well as on the virtual chapter YouTube channel, and of course posted on the IACT IMDHA forum for those of you who are members of that organization. Get your CEUs; they are hot and ready to go from IACT, Shelley, say the letters.
IHF, International Hypnosis Federation.
There we go. The International Hypnosis Federation, ICBCH, and other friendly hypnosis organizations.
You remember
And
ICBCH and not IHF.
all right. So anyway, I got to thank you guys. It's just been great. I've had a wonderful time. Karen, say goodnight as well.
Good night as well.
All right, great. And Shelley, I'm wondering, I put you on the spot. I don't think you saw the message I sent you, but I wonder if you could sing us out with It's in Every One of Us and send us up.
All right, ready?
All righty.
Yeah.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart. Open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by. It's in every one of us. I just remembered. It's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not awake as I can be, but my seeing's better. I can see through my tears, and I know that it's so. It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us by and by.
Thank you so much. Good night, everybody, and Merry Christmas and a Merry holiday.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Merry Christmas.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas, everyone. Bye.
Next year.
Good night, everybody.
Good night, everyone.